What's up, guys? It's gonna be another episode of Just Think Stupid.
Hello.
A little bit of a different setup. We've had technical difficulties with my OBS. It wouldn't use two cameras for I don't know what the reason is.
Do you think?
No apparent reason.
Do you think it could just be like the connections on your computer, like the USB ports not working properly on your computer? Because it does have weird electrical shit.
Well, maybe, but it.
Or do you think it's just OBS?
I think it's OBS because both cameras worked. It's just only one would work at the same time, so it would be the same camera for both.
That's weird.
I mean, I guess we could have just done but it's fine. This works. This is what we decided on.
Definitely, and I kind of like the background better.
It's the kitchen.
But yeah, I mean, if you're a beginner podcaster like pretty much us, we've been doing it for a while, but we've just kind of fallen off a bit. But if you're a beginner podcaster like us, probably get something better than OBS, unless you're willing to try to make it work, which sometimes it does. Other times it doesn't.
I think it might be partially like a my computer problem too, because I tried to use Streamlabs as well, same issue. What the fuck?
It just turned on.
Why did that happen?
It's updating, I guess. Ignore that.
Anyway, man.
Man, it's fine. That camera, I guess.
Very strange.
I don't know why I did
A
that.
little creepy. Maybe the demon's here.
Yes. Anyway,
Because that's the... What?
anything new with you?
Not really. It's just been like a big cycle, big circle of thought. I think because of Pop's death.
Yeah.
So basically, for background, our grandpa died. He was 63 years old. About a month ago.
Yeah.
Been a month.
It's been more than a month. It's like a month and a week.
Really? No.
Yeah. Yeah. Time, like, ever since he died for me personally, everything's felt like a dream since then. And reality doesn't feel real. It's a little bit.
Gotcha. Well, it's just part of that coping phase. And really what I've come to is I've analyzed my own life as a result of analyzing his life, I think.
Yeah.
Overall. I mean, all the worst things I've done and probably how we got into the frame of mind to get into that place.
Oh, yeah. Like, you and I both, like a couple of years ago, we were doing the same thing that probably was kind of similar in his situation when he was younger to start off the whole cycle of not doing anything. Cycle of self-harm in ways.
Definitely. I've been doing it again since he passed, realistically, because I hadn't really been doing anything, and I've just been sitting around eating pizzas, literally.
Pizza's good.
But I've just finally come to a different perspective and way of viewing the world.
Yeah.
How to move past things quicker,
Oh, definitely.
basically.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of... But yeah, what have you really taken from it?
Nothing lasts forever in this human condition, right? So might as well try to get everything you can, such as different abilities to make your life better, and try to cherish every moment, you know?
Yeah,
That kind of
definitely.
thing. Like, don't just sit around and have your life looking the same every single moment of it, every single day. Try to do different things. Try to change yourself as well as the world around you in result.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, everything is definitely a moment in time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the way I'm starting to view everything, really.
Definitely.
I've realized, like, I've lived my whole life without really having an ego.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem. Because, there's this old idea that, like, pride is the devil and that you shouldn't have too big of an ego. But I think it's the opposite. I think pride is what prevents you from doing things that you don't believe in because you're better than that.
Yeah, it's true.
I think people think of pride and ego in the wrong way, in the wrong frame of mind, meaning that, like, I'm better than everybody else, which you can feel that way, but you don't project that
Pride's
outwardly.
different, though.
What do you mean?
In my opinion, pride is pretty significantly different than ego, right?
I think like having a big ego leads to you feeling prideful about the things you've done and where you are.
Well, that's true, but I don't know if you necessarily need a big one. So,
I do.
like, that's where the term egotistical comes from, right? Where you're too full of yourself, even when you shouldn't have confidence in yourself and doing something wrong.
That's arrogance. I think there's a difference. I think arrogance is when your ego is bigger than what you've done. I think real ego is built.
So, are you saying egotistical is a good thing?
I think so. I think it is if you aren't delusion. I mean, I think I think an amount of delusion is required
Well,
to accomplish
exactly.
anything big.
Like with
So
any,
I don't know how to exactly articulate the idea.
yeah. Like to me, pride, of course, is an incredibly important thing. So you can protect your own values and protect what you feel is right, and also have the necessary confidence to go into different endeavors, such as a business or a family or this or that, right?
Mhm.
And for me, I separate ego and pride into two different things, even though pride can come from, or pride does kind of is derived from ego, but I don't know. I think over time it becomes a completely different thing within your mind.
Hmm.
That's me personally, though, right?
I just like the kind of way I view them is I view them as being linked.
Yeah.
Like they're one and the same.
Yeah.
Ego
definitely.
leads to pride, which leads to you standing for something.
Which is fair. Yeah.
I think a lot of people like I can see how maybe it could be dangerous if you misinterpret what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because some people might just use it as a reason to treat others poorly, but
Exactly.
I don't think that people that aren't. I think if you're a psychopath, then you can have ego without having anything to back it up with.
See, there's a balance to things, right? I think being egotistical in a certain sense and being very prideful and very confident can be a good thing as long as you balance it with, say, reality checks, right? So if you get too much confidence too much at the time and you're not really doing anything to check your ego, then you're just kind of delusional, which is why working out is such a great thing, or doing things that you've never done and then failing at those things and accepting it is such a great thing, right? It reality checks you. It makes you think you're not such a god. Because some people definitely have that god complex.
It's a weird subject in the way that like a lot of people are going to misconstrue it
Yeah.
and think about it incorrectly. But I think that like ego and like feeling like you can do anything starts with something like simple, like saying you're going to work out every single day
Yeah.
and then never missing a day.
Yeah, true.
It starts with something simple and tangible in the real world.
True.
We're saying I'm always going to show up to do this thing every single day without exception. There's no excuses. I don't care if I'm feeling depressed that day. I don't care how I'm feeling. I'm
Yeah.
going to do this because that's the only way anything that I say or do is going to matter.
Yeah, true. I think,
And I'm better than not doing it. Like, that's
Yeah.
the way I look at it. I'm better than not doing that. Because somewhere in the multiverse,
Yeah.
there is a version of me that's superior to me in every single way.
Yeah.
Same genetic makeup, same person, same IQ. He's just done more with what he has than I have.
Yeah. Just as,
So am I going to let him beat me? Like, I think there's this idea, like, where you can make your own enemy in your head
Yeah.
so that you're not like a dickhead to people in the real world.
Well, you are your own enemy. Absolutely, yeah.
But it should be the best version of yourself that exists somewhere else that's superior to in every
Exactly.
way possible.
Which I think is like I've gotten that sense too, where I'm in a certain headspace where I feel like I'm tapping into the best version I could be, into the elevated mind I could have, right? And I think that's kind of the thing that you should definitely battle and you should definitely compete with, and try to obtain, is the alternate yet very similar, almost exactly the same version of you. The only difference is you're way better. The version of you that you're competing with is way better than you because they just tried harder. And I think that's a lot. I think that's a lot of the issues that comes with youth today. Well, hell, not even youth. I mean, of course, youth today, but people in the past, like people within the baby boomers, like even past generations. It's just they don't try hard enough, and when they do try once in their life, as a child or as a teenager or as a young adult, and they fail horribly, they take that as a thing to kind of beware of, to not go after because they don't want to feel that pain of rejection or failure or whatever it may be. It's a coping mechanism, and it is it's kind of like a comfort blanket, right? Everything stays the same. This is what I can control.
100%.
Yeah.
It's such an irrational thing, this whole like wanting to be comfortable, because that's like the death of any sort of growth whatsoever.
Literally. Yeah.
Like my problem is I'm not hard enough on myself.
Yeah.
Because if you're not hard on yourself, nobody else is going to be.
Oh, definitely.
And nothing will ever change. It's just, but this is a different idea. But I've been thinking about like morality as well.
Yeah.
And the way I've kind of started to try to make sense of it is like, alright, it could, like, morality could either be like one or of two main things. Like,
Yeah.
what is actually moral, and maybe like all of it's just ambiguous. Maybe all of it's just a construct that we've made up.
Yeah.
But it's either to do with intentionality or outcome. It can't be both. It
Yeah.
has to be one or the other. It has to be what your intention was going into something, and so like what your that's what matters, or is it the outcome of hurting somebody that matters?
Definitely. Personally,
It's difficult.
yeah, it's
I
a
don't know.
difficult conversation because, like, even if you have a good intention going into something, you could hurt the person in the end. However, the outcome of hurting someone in the end isn't always a bad thing. As long as they use that bad experience to form something different or to work on themselves or to make sure that never happens, then it actually can be turned into a good thing, right? So I probably lean into more of the intentionality thing, into the intentionality instead of the outcome, because us humans, we don't predict the future. We are very single-minded and single goal-oriented creatures, right? So we go into something with a certain intention, and then whatever happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You try to
Well,
make the best
yeah.
of it at the current moment, not the best of it of what you think what could happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely intentionality, I think, is more of a based argument.
Yeah. It also gets complicated though, where it's like, what if you could have known,
Yeah.
but you chose not to, and you lied to yourself for so long about something that
Completely
caused
true.
a certain outcome, which is what most people do. That's
Yeah.
really what most pain and suffering comes from.
That's true because,
Is not being self-aware and not
Yeah.
understanding the real world whatsoever, and just lying about everything for so long that you don't know
That's-
you're lying.
that's true. And within that, there are its own risks, right? So say you have the intention of protecting yourself from any more pain, such as if you failed one big time and you take that as, oh, I should never try again, to protect yourself, then that's just doing bad by you, even if the intention is good, thinking that, oh, if nothing bad ever happens, I'm going to have a happy life. That's the intention. That's not necessarily a bad intention, but the outcome could be bad,
For
or
sure.
is usually bad.
For sure.
So yeah, that's also true. You just gotta be real with yourself. You gotta be truthful with yourself.
Which is easier said than done.
Exactly, and many people
Because
have a hard
lie-
time doing that.
Yeah, the lie could be so old that you don't even know when it started.
Yeah, exactly.
It could have started when you were a fucking kid.
Yeah, it can. It could have started when you're a kid, which turns into an insecurity over time, which turns into a complex over time, right?
Yeah.
So
It just keeps getting worse and worse.
yeah, it's like a scar.
And then it
in your
takes
brain.
so long to untangle.
Yeah, literally.
Well, that's like where like you have to just pick something that's to believe in. It is really what it comes down to. That seems right to you. That makes the most sense to you about how you're gonna live your life, and then just go down that path. Because there's no point in second guessing and feeling bad about things. In the end, it's just a waste of time.
That's true.
Is what I've come to.
Yeah, that's completely true.
Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck in that state forever.
Yeah,
Nothing will improve.
Yeah, definitely. And something I need to implement in myself, which for anyone who's watching, you probably definitely need to implement in yourself, and probably most Americans anyway, is when I think and want something, I just have to do the actions to get that something or try to get that something, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Instead of just pussyfooting around, being a little pussy, being a little bitch, not actually going after the thing I want. And as a man, anyway, one of the worst feelings, you said this to me last night, one of the worst feelings as a man is the failure to try, is the kind of shame you get for not doing anything at all to get what you want.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a plague on modern society.
literally.
Most men are cowards.
Yeah,
Without
and,
a doubt.
And I think it's intended to be that way.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I do too. It's just, I don't know how much of what I think to reveal.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But, like, I'm trying to think of it more logically, but I do want to eventually reveal it all. But
yeah, but right now it's not perfect.
it's like, the other hand, it's like, maybe it is, because maybe if you don't, then it's just going to keep getting worse and worse, and it's going to snowball out
Yeah,
into slavery, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
Like genuine no freedom anymore due to
Yeah.
this peasant because
Communist country kind of deal.
yeah, exactly.
China. That is what I worry about too, and that's why we got to get rich as soon as possible, so we don't have to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Because I think the rich will survive. The rich will be able to live the lives they want and have freedom, the freedom they want, as long as they keep to themselves, and everyone else. Yeah.
To some degree, maybe,
Yeah.
but it's kind of, I'm trying to have more sort of ideas and principles that are not necessarily external, because you can't really control things.
Yeah.
All I know is I need to try my best to make some sort of noise, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Basically, freedom is the thing that I value the most.
Yeah.
Meaning what real freedom is the ability to lose anything
Yeah.
and not let it affect you.
True.
That's what real freedom is, and like not being afraid to lose your life, not being like a little peasant, like a little bitch that's afraid to say what he thinks, because it might over a long enough time span result in something negative, like a loss of life or something.
Yeah, it's true.
And built off that, I think, is where I like really value the idea of being honest, being truthful, because I think it allows, like, the idea of truth. If everybody was truthful, you could extrapolate this out to society from an individual. If everybody was truthful, then people could actually make decisions for what they are.
Yeah.
And a lot of other conditions have to be present for all this to be true. But I've kind of come to realize, like, those are the things I value the most, and so I'm trying to move closer and closer towards the things that I think are true,
Definitely.
regardless of how I'm going to be perceived for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say I value similar things too. Like, I value the freedom of speech, obviously. You should be able to say whatever you want, and freedom in a way that you portrayed it. And I don't know, I believe in that everyone should have the chance to be able to grow into what they want and have a good start. Right now, this society, or any society for that matter, isn't giving people the best of starts. Not, especially in America. I mean, in third world countries, there's different places. Like, America has the most opportunity, sure.
We're spoiled as fuck.
Yeah, we're spoiled as hell.
We're weak.
However, the mindset that's instilled into us that is not constructive at all. It's made to make us think that the only thing in modern life is instant gratification and working your job until you're 60, and then that's when you get the freedom.
So, in my opinion, you need to either believe in, like, free will, meaning, like, no matter what happens to you, it's your fault. Or you need to have everything's determined, which I don't believe at all.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that. And so I blame people for them turning out the way they turn out.
Yeah.
I blame myself for all the things I've done, positive and negative.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only way to move forward,
Exactly.
in my opinion. And so I think it's up to the people, to the general populace, to start to look at things and understand things within themselves and externally. And I think it's really up to men, to be honest, because men have the ability, if they choose, to resist certain ideas that may not be the best interest of everybody.
Yeah. And see, that doesn't mean men are the most important gender. No, not by any means. We balance out each other if done right. True masculinity is the ability to change things and to be able to create things, right? Such as infrastructure and all this and that. But femininity, I can't say that well, is after a world is destroyed, they can repair it through families.
Yeah.
That's really what I think. I think women can be kind of like the safe haven for the man, where you feel safest with your woman. You can bounce ideas off of her, and I don't know, she overall is good for the soul, right?
Yeah.
I think men do the hard stuff while women soften the blow.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah.
Overall. Yeah, I think I'd probably say, like, masculinity is slightly different. I think it's having genuine principles you believe in, and never letting any of your impulses ever dictate how you act.
Exactly. A true man will never let that happen, and in turn, he can do great things.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Based on principles.
Yeah.
Which is what's been taken away from, like all the young men. Like, we have no fucking principles. Look at social media, dude.
Yeah.
Like, the people that are idolized.
Degenerate.
Like Neon, Sneeko, like, all these people, they're just fucking cowards.
Yeah.
They're spineless.
Yeah. At one
Leaf
point,
in the wind.
definitely.
Yeah.
At one point, I used to like Sneeko and I don't know, over the years he just turned into less and less of himself, and he just seems like he's only in it after money, and I don't know. I don't know if he actually has any true opinions of his own. Sure, he says like stuff in the stream saying like, I want you guys to be able to think for yourself, blah blah blah, all this bullshit, but I don't think he means it. I think he's saying stuff just for the views.
I don't even think he knows what it means.
Yeah, honestly.
Like he's gotten to this weird point where like everything he does is anticipating a reaction to what he's going to say.
Exactly.
From his view. So
yeah, and
it's just reactionary content that means nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is. There's no real principle behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think most people can't see through that guy. I think he's like a kind of a two-faced person, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say two-faced bastard. I don't know why. That's probably in my head, but two-faced person, where one face is his truer self at home and this and that, and the second face is really just for the reaction, for views, and to see how people will really just react and act.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, so.
Well, it's just funny to me how he, like, really all his opinions were formed, like, when he saw Andrew Tate. I don't think he really questioned anything or really, like, thought about any of the stuff that was actually being said. But he just repeated it in a worse, less articulate manner.
Yeah.
That makes less sense.
He doesn't have any thoughts of his own.
Yeah, but it's funny how he is somebody that thinks he's fighting against the Matrix when he's really just distracting people from its existence.
Yeah, doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Creating another echo chamber for people to focus on instead of what's actually happening in the world, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of echo chambers, is to fill your head with nonsense and to distract you.
Yeah, he's just an entertainer, man. And
Yeah.
that's why I just can't be only an entertainer. That's
Yeah.
Because then you just get to this point where, yeah, you're just distracting the sheeple.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely, like, with my content, obviously, I want it to be at a base level entertaining to watch, but with an actual core message attached to it, right?
Yeah.
And, yeah, just talking about things that interest me, maybe making people better for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to, like, say the things that I actually think.
Yeah.
Because I think that's entertaining in and of itself, because everybody, like, I really do think this, that, like, everybody deep down knows the same things to be true.
Yeah.
Like, for the most part. There's some exceptions, of course.
Yeah, there's
Blah,
common
blah,
sense.
but, yeah, most people deep down know, and they've just been told lies so long that they don't even know where the lies begun.
Yeah.
And they lied to themselves.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
really what I think it is. So I think that's why people get drawn to a person like Andrew Tate, because, like, they hate what he's saying because he's being truthful
Yeah, exactly.
about how he actually feels. Or, like,
You gotta be tough. Tough love, you know?
well, yeah, you just can't care about what anybody thinks of you. Like, not anybody, because there are going to be some people whose opinions matter to you,
Yeah, exactly.
but it needs to be people that you genuinely respect. And it's like,
yeah.
most of the people just, like, leaving hate comments on the internet, like, how, like, you shouldn't respect them, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
what is there to respect?
Exactly.
Nothing they say matters.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
There's an echo chamber and an echo chamber. Yeah, I think the internet could be, and social media could be used in a more constructive manner such as, you know, like, I think it's Douyin, you know, the Chinese version of TikTok, I think it's called Douyin or something like that.
Oh.
I forget.
Yeah,
It starts with a D anyway. But their version of TikTok, very constructive, shows younger kids very impressive accomplishments, such as, like, in the physical realm, like sports, or say a scientist or an engineer working on something really fucking nice and cool. And then you look at our fucking TikTok, our version of it, the rest of the world's version of this same app, where it's just feeding you mindless garbage, where it's just feeding you these trends, these TikTok dances, these leggings that go on women to show off their asses, these fucking different random shit that is not constructed, that makes you not want to do anything real.
TikTok, bro.
Yeah.
It's sometimes I scroll on there for a bit and then I just lose all faith in humanity.
Right? Yeah,
It's
same here.
it's a cesspit
It is.
full of garbage.
It is.
That's gonna do it for this episode of Just Think. Like, comment, subscribe for more content. We'll see you in the next one.
I love you.